You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Do us a favor and like and subscribe and comment on the video. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever audio podcatcher you're watching it and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but it keeps everything here free. If you want more, join the Insiders program in the subtext link down below. No trolls, 14-day free trial, and the easiest way ever to cancel. I know, canceling these subscription services can be a pain. This is unbelievably easy, so give it a try. And don't forget to check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, college and pro, is ready for you, including Corey Burton and Locked On Vandy, and they are good, for goodness sake. Man, it's kind of impressive to see the Vanderbilt Commodores and what they are this season. So the question is it time to worry about the Ole Miss defense after the Arkansas game? And I think concern is the right word. You should be concerned about this, especially with the inability to kind of stop mobile quarterbacks. Some of that, in my opinion, is putting Xavier Harris out at strong side defensive end, who just isn't quite quick enough to catch a Taylor Green or John Mateer or whoever these quarterbacks are that you're going to see. Some of this has to do with the fact that Ole Miss just doesn't have many sacks this year. Ole Miss doesn't have that many explosive plays this year. Ole Miss has dropped interceptions. I think 3 interceptions against Arkansas. One of my keys for the game is he's going to throw you the ball, catch it. That's all you had to do. Ole Miss did not catch it, kept drives alive, and Arkansas kind of got in their bag and was able to score some points. Arkansas was really good offensively in this game. Make no mistake, Bobby Petrino really figured something out in this game. Ole Miss won the game 40-35 and got a turnover at the end of the game to pull it away. But that's the only turnover of the game. And if you look at the second half, Ole Miss only gave up 7 points. So as bad as they were in the first half, and they were really bad in the first half, they were awful in the first half. They were better in the second half. And that's important that you point stuff like that out. When you don't, it kind of makes you look one-sided or the other. Over the course of the whole game, Arkansas ended up with 526 yards, 300 yards passing, 200 yards rushing. Taylor Green had another 100-yard day on the ground. This defense kind of got worked Saturday night. Now, it took Ole Miss's offense being really, really good to overcome it. And it's one of those things that Ole Miss has the offense to overcome this against most teams. Where they need to really have a good performance defensively is when they're having to deal with really good teams coming in. That's on the road at Georgia, on the road at Oklahoma. I don't know if South Carolina's a good team after they got completely worked by Vanderbilt. I don't know if Florida's a good team anymore. The schedule that looked even daunting 2 months ago now doesn't look so bad. There's still some games that you can lose. There's still some teams that are better than they were expected to be on your schedule. But overall, this schedule does not look as difficult. Suntarine Perkins kind of showed up in the second half of this game for Ole Miss. His athleticism, he was all over the field. He led the team in tackles with 9, had 1 TFL. Still waiting on the first sack from Suntarine Perkins after 3 games, but at least that one kind of started, because what you were worried about is you kept looking down at the stat sheet during the game, and the leading tackler was Kapina Gushikin or Nick Cole or some safety, and that doesn't work. When Ole Miss's defense is kind of clicking, the linebackers are the most dominant tacklers on the field. But Ole Miss has to figure out a way to get explosives defensively. Again, they're not doing that right now. This Ole Miss defense looks remarkably similar to the 2023 defense. Now, granted, that team won 11 games over the course of the season. This isn't me poo-pooing that defense at all. But after we just came off the 2024 defense, it looks different. Remember in 2023, Georgia was really good offensively in Athens. LSU ran up and down the field on the Ole Miss Rebels. This defense, if it compares favorably to that defense, you're going to need an extremely strong offense. And we talked about the first segment of the show about the unstoppableness of the offense once Austin Simmons gets healthy and you have a Trinidad Chambliss. There's a chance that Lane Kiffin can bake some stuff up. Okay? If he is truly the offensive genius that we all think he is, this is a scenario that you should be in favor of. I think Austin Simmons is going to get healthy, come back, and be a really good quarterback. Trinidad Chambliss, he's a really good quarterback. The way that I think that Ole Miss fans should look at it is they have two. And everybody has the saying, if you have two, you don't have one. That's not the case in this one. That's not the way this works. You had somebody that stepped on the field Saturday night and made plays. And the defense tried to let him down. Defense tried to make it difficult. But once Ole Miss got out to a 2-score lead, you could kind of excel a little bit. And the defense took control, only giving up 7 points in the second half and getting the key fumble at the end. So is there reason to worry about this Ole Miss defense? And I was like, I don't think panic is the right word. So there's not reason to panic about this defense. I think you should genuinely be concerned, especially with Georgia and Oklahoma and some of the mobile quarterbacks coming up on the schedule. Maybe this was a game plan thing and they just thought something was going to happen and it just didn't. They were just wrong. That happens from time to time. But Ole Miss was a better team than Arkansas, as everybody likely saw. But Arkansas offensively is really good. They are. And Mike Washington, the running back, he had that busted play where he scored from like 50 yards out. He had 15 yards the rest of the game. The key to stopping Arkansas offense is stopping the running back running game. Put it all on Taylor Green and just kind of roll the dice. And he almost had a specialty performance for the ages, but he didn't. And that's good news. So I'm going to take that positive of the defense at Ole Miss making plays when they need to. But I am also going to be concerned moving forward, especially with the mobile quarterbacks on the schedule. In our final segment, we check out this week's leans and locks for the SEC with lines from FanDuel, where I'm leading and which games feel like safe bets, coming up next. Thank you so much for stopping by and having a good time with us today. And thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we are the front door of Ole Miss. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. In another big moment for Locked On, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A Locked On preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. Howdy toddy, everybody. Remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.